Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today I wanted to do a commentary video where I just kind of open up the mic and share some thoughts on a topic. It's been a while since I've done this, but firstly, thank you all for the support. Just keep watching the videos, keep showing up, keep dropping likes, and leaving me a comment. I really appreciate it. But let's get to the topic at hand. Like I said, I don't do these commentary videos as much, but I really like them. I am here to compare and contrast the differences between playing anything between like solo, duo, trio queue versus 5 stacking. Now, this could be a discussion about matchmaking. This could be a discussion about how, the game is frustrating or how it makes me angry. But I want to kind of lean on the other side of that. I think that if y'all have not explored 5 stacking, you absolutely should. And that's what I want this video to be. So I want to tell the differences between 5 stacking and say like the solo queue. For the sake of saying, I'm just going to call it solo queue for the solo queue style of play. But I also want to explain why I think you should absolutely try it. So solo queue, it does have those issues. It does have, the teammates, the bad matchmaking, the lack of coordination and the inability to truly kind of experience the game in a very cohesive kind of competitive way. But more so than that, solo queue, it just feels very, very, like, I hate to say it, but kind of random. We all know that Zapdos is a crazy mechanic, right? It has a crazy thing that happens. And, I look at the game from a very competitive standpoint pretty much always. And my consistent opinion, except for like maybe really early on, but my consistent opinion has been, I don't really have any issues with Zapdos. I like the way that it functions. I don't mind how it functions. I don't mind what the benefit of securing Zapdos is. But the problem that I have with it mostly is that I think it dies too fast. Like Zapdos just gets knocked out way too quickly. Aside from that, I have kind of now slightly changed my opinion, and I'm here to share that with you. I actually think that because of the way that solo queue works, Zapdos mechanic is kind of awful for solo queuing. It makes it to where you can actively be carrying a game, you yourself, and you still can't really fully 100% control whether or not you win, and that sucks, right? We all know that the game is a coin flip to that degree, and while my competitive perspective is incredibly different, I have no problems with Zapdos. It's up to the team, you have to control it. If the matchmaking in the game was better, if the ranked mode in the game was better, my competitive perspective of you need to make sure that they don't steal Zapdos and you need to make sure that it's not a coin flip would reign a little bit more true, but the reality is that we don't have solid matchmaking and we don't have the best ranked mode in the world, and so Zapdos is rough. So that's kind of the big woes of playing solo queue, right? Like you have to deal with those factors, and the kind of like pros of being in solo queue is that you just boot up the game and you play, right? You can pick whatever you want, you can, well, more or less, you just queue in, you have fun, you don't have to worry about the social side of things, because listen, I know that it can be a little anxiety riddled, hopping into a voice chat or, talking with people, or even just putting yourself out there to try to meet new people. But, there's the pros and cons of solo queue. Now, let me compare and contrast that to 5 stacking, or to playing in a group. For people that don't know, I actually get asked a lot, what is 5 stacking, or what is stacking? 5 stacking is just playing in a 5-person queue, being on a team, having 5 people when you queue up. So 5 stacking, grouping up with a group of people. So the difference between 5 stacking is that the skill ceiling of the game goes way, way higher. It gets much, much higher. When you start 5 stacking, you're more often than not going to also face other 5 stack groups. It's rare, but it does happen where you'll face like a trio queue and a duo queue. But the skill ceiling goes higher because the games get much more optimized. They get more min-maxed. And if you don't know what min-max means, it basically means that a player is doing what they can to maximize the potential for their efforts. And so this is when you start to see the 1-1-3 comps come in, the Lucario tops, the tri-lane bottom, the solo jungle. This is when you start to see people rotating and using abilities more cohesively, making sure that the Hoopa hyperspace hole is in the right spot, or making sure that they're rotating down for Dreadnought at the right time. This is where the game turns much less of a kind of like clown fiesta and more into a a dance or something. I don't know, an orchestrated dance. And I feel like if you haven't experienced it, there's so much to learn. Now, the reason why I love 5-stacking so much and playing on a team so much is because I chase progression when I play games. Like, my experience in playing Unite really early on was I just wanted to get better. I wanted to rank up. I wanted to hit masters. That's the progression that we all have. But at this point, most of us now have most likely reached that progression. We have, played through a couple seasons of Unite. We have learned a bunch of different characters, unlocked a bunch of different characters. We've leveled up items. We have, played jungle. We've played top lane. We've done stacking builds. We've done, I don't want to say everything that there is to do, but we've done most everything that there is to do. And the progression for us is just pushing our points higher and higher. But the reality of our ranked ladder is that you're never going to outrank a 5-stack team because we do share the same ranked ladder with the same points. And while you can chase progression in like the top 10k leaderboard, you can't really make big strides. So what more progression is there? Well, there's the literal progression where you could continue to play ranked and try to put your points as high as possible, and that would be best suited for playing 5-stack, so that's one benefit to playing in a 5-stack. Or there's the progression of objectively getting better at the game. Now, this is where I fell in love with 5-stacking. I started playing with my team more and more and a lot more seriously recently, and I'm learning the game at a deeper level. I would do a lot of VOD reviews and I see it played, but you have to kind of put it into execution. You need repetition on it. And now I'm playing the game, I'm analyzing the game, I'm starting to understand my role at a deeper level. And like I said, that skill ceiling is raised, and I'm feeling myself kind of climbing that progression of, being what used to just be what I would say was like a really, really good solo queue player to now being what I hope is to be a really good 5-stack player or a really good team. So what does this all mean? Why am I bringing any of this up? I really just wanted to kind of share a story with y'all, really. Just kind of like this perspective of, if you haven't tried it, you just don't know what you're missing kind of deal. Now, easier said than done, right? You have to put yourself out there if you want a 5-stack. You got to join Discords. You can join my Discord, link in the description. You can join other Discords. I will maybe try to put some links in the description. There is the Reddit Discord. That's a massive community. There is the AOS Frontier Discord. It's kind of a more competitive focused community. But at the end of the day, it is up to you if you want to find like-minded players, if you want to, put yourself into a 5-stack scenario. Because the thing about 5-stacking is that even though I do believe that there's way more progression, it's way more fun to experience the game in a much more serious and competitive way, you have to do it the right way. You can't just get 4 other people and just play whatever you want, right? You have to kind of play the meta. You can do 2-1-2, you can do 1-1-3, but you have to have the right team comps for it. You need to start thinking about what role you want to play. And this is the importance about solo queue versus 5-stacking as well. When you're kind of solo duo queue, trio queuing, you can play whatever you want. Like, I'm a jungle main, but yeah, I can play top lane. I can play Pikachu. I can, you can play Greninja in the lane. I don't recommend it because you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, but you can play whatever you want. When you're 5-stacking, you cannot play whatever you want. Your top lane is going to mostly be Lucario Machamp. Your jungle is going to be, there's actually a lot of jungle picks, but you're going to have Talon, Charizard, Cinderace, Greninja, and a handful of other characters. When you're bottom lane, you're going to need an either really strong defender or like a support tank like Wigglytuff. So you have your Slowbros, your Mamoswines, your Wigglytuff, your Mimes, characters like that. Your attacker player is going to be playing Pikachu, Venusaur. Some teams are running Hoopa attacker. Your support is going to either be like Hoopa or Eldegoss. So you have to play your role. So my recommendation, and the reason why I brought this all up, is because I think that it's worth trying. I think that it's worth putting yourself out there, making friends, meeting people in Discord, trying to join different communities, and creating a group for yourself. If you don't already have a bunch of friends, make one and pick a role. I think that this will help you. I've seen like looking for group sections in Discord, and I've seen people like kind of posting that they're looking for a group, and their post will say something like, oh, I'm Masters, I'm 1350, last season I was 1500, and I main Serena, Crustle, Greninja, and Cinderace. And it's like, when you see a post like that, it's like that character list is so diverse that you don't really know what to do with them. So focus on a role. Are you a top laner, solo top laner? Are you a support player, an attacker player in bot lane? Are you a tank player, or are you a jungler? And if you can do that, I think that you can kind of advertise yourself, start finding groups or building groups, and then stepping your way into playing in 5 stacks. So friends, I wanted to share that with you. This is a bit different, but I just think that it's worth doing. There's a lot of progression to be had in 5 stacks, and if you're anything like me where you just want to improve and you want to have fun on the game and you want to just get better, truly get better and grind, and also at the same time, if you become a good 5 stack, your points in Masters will go up, so then you're grinding the leaderboard as well. It's a really, really fun experience. So friends, drop a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about kind of my perspective, and if you have or haven't done 5 stacking, let me know in the comments. Tell me kind of what the barrier is, because I do think that there is a social barrier there, and it is kind of scary and hard to put yourself out there and meet new people and just randomly start joining people in Discord, but I do think that it could be really worth it. So as always, friends, I appreciate all the support. The love and support has been amazing. Be sure to be kind to one another. Tell someone that you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.